very much for being there with us. Chief Dan Nwanyanwu, National Chairman, Zenith Labour Party, is here with us in the studio. Chief Nwanyanwu, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
You look quite refreshed.
Yes.
Well, I just woke up from sleep.
It's like you're not feeling the stress happening in this country at all.
No, not that I don't feel it. I'm not expecting anything, so nothing bothers me.
So psychologically,
I don't expect anything. So I just sleep and wake up. That's all.
Really?
When you start expecting things, that's when you have problem. Blood pressure, blood sugar, blood this. I don't expect anything.
So you take it one day at a time?
One day at a time.
I see.
Okay.
And scripturally, we are told by the scriptures, you should not bother yourself about what you eat tomorrow or what you wear tomorrow. That the Lord has taken care of all those things.
And he's also said that expectation postponed makes a heart sick.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So you don't want to expect anything.
If you want to look fresh, just don't expect anything.
All right, I try not to expect anything. Hopefully I look as fresh as you are.
I mean, that would be very interesting because it means that you don't watch. I mean, of course you watch the news and you see what's going on.
Of course, I'm a news person.
Absolutely.
I'm a news person.
And so looking at the political conversation within the polity, I mean, the two major parties, we've seen them in the lead stories, APC and PDP. People are beginning to see the dynamics of political parties and their role in democracy, especially in Nigeria as we approach 2023.
Yes.
How do you review the happenings in the past 1 week?
Well, I think the problem we have is we like doing things out of the rules. Every political party in Nigeria, just like elsewhere, has its own constitution. And if you look at the first page of that constitution, of every political party, they say, this constitution is supreme. On the other hand, it is supreme if you put it side by side with any decision by anybody, by any other organ, that is not in tandem with the provisions of that constitution. You see, I look at the way you react at times when you see leaders in a political party. They want this one out, they want this one out, they want this person out. Everything is based on self-ambition, self-interest. If you study all the political parties and their constitution, including the Zenith Labour Party, it is provided how an officer of the party could be removed. So, if you gang together, either as governors, or as National Assembly members, or even as presidents, if you are not going to do it within the comforts and dictates of that constitution, in the eyes of the law, you have not done it.
So you think what's going on in the PDP now, for instance?
I don't want to discuss referring to any party. I'm talking about political party administration altogether.
Okay, let me not mention
so that I will not be seen to be discussing drinking somebody's Panadol.
Okay.
But as I'm discussing, you will be fixing it.
In your assessment of what you're seeing going on in the two major political parties, do you think this is 2023 ambition by certain political groups, forces and powers within the political arrangement at play?
Of course. Of course. Tell me why you, as a political party or as leaders of a party, you want to remove a national chairman few months to the convention when you can do it. Why? Because of self-interest. There are no apologies.
What if the man is said not to be performing?
The constitution provides for it. You can persuade him to call for midterm convention.
Yeah.
Where you take a vote of confidence, as in the case of PDP constitution. If that vote of confidence fails, he has been removed. The constitution provides for it. It's like the removal of Adam Soshomole. That was utterly wrong. But that is their headache. The president cannot, even if he was the one that approved it, not to talk about governors or those that felt offended. His removal was unconstitutional, the APC constitution. I have read all this constitution back to back. Because they don't challenge due to certain reasons, due to certain involvement, due to certain things, they swallow it and life goes on. Somebody must challenge such actions. You see? And this is so, Utibe, because Leaders elected under political party platforms do not believe in party supremacy. I'll give you one example. I was a young banker in 1982 with Union Bank. That time I started having political interest, watching people speak. So there was a meeting in Ibadan. It coincided with a trade union meeting in Ibadan. I sneaked to go and watch. I think it was in Mako Hall or in Premier Hotel, one of the places. In that hall, on the high table, I want you to listen. There were just 2 chairs. One was for Adisa Meredith Akinloye, National Chairman MPN. On his left was Suleiman Takuma, National Secretary. President Shehu Shagari, Ella Sekweme, Dr. Joseph Wires, they sat facing him. I recall there was a time President Shagari raised his hand to speak. Adisa said, no, Mr. President, not you. You. That is party supremacy. That is party supremacy.
So the national chairman is the boss.
You see, when you are elected councillor, you have become leader of the party in local government. Governor, leader of the party. The leader of any political party in this country is the national chairman.
What makes...
Let me finish that point, please.
Okay.
Is the national chairman. If you are elected, face administration. Let the party run its affairs. But there must be a symbiotic relationship. Here you are elected governor. Nobody talks to you. You sit down in your bedroom and drop commissioners, drop up people to be appointed. You are president. You pick your ministers. You may not talk to anybody. It didn't happen during the MPN days. President Shagari and Akinloye, and I'm sure those who were there then will remember what I'm saying. They would discuss it. Mr. President, the following helped us to win. I want you to accommodate them. He will not drop them. There are also people who are not in party politics, but they have something to put on the table. We should consider them. That's then when the list gets out, it is approved without argument.
What has changed? Because you talked about how it happened in the past, in the Second Republic. What was the system? 2 things I want you to address. What was the system of financing, party financing at the time? Because there's this argument that the structure of party financing right now makes the governors the real owners of the party.
Absolutely.
The national chairman of the party goes to visit the state. And before he goes, of course, thanks for coming. And he's taken care of. Anybody that wants to become governor has to take care of the party chairman. And afterwards, the party chairman takes care. So the purse, the real purse, is in the hands of the governors. The party members, a structure where members of the party nationally contribute to a central fund for the party doesn't really exist, because there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 governors who control state resources who can give massive funds to the party. So they determine and dictate to the national chairman what to do. Was that the case during the Second Republic, which you referred to?
I must tell you, it was almost the same thing, only that it's more elaborate now. You see, there is no way members used to contribute money, individual members. I remember, and this is correct, in 1998, before the formation of PDP, I attended all the meetings at Muzon Center with Jonathan Zingina and others. I'll pick him in the airport. We attend all the meetings. Ekweme was presiding. At every meeting, there will be no money to pay for the halls and entertainment. I must be frank with this. Ojikalo picked most of the bills. He's not my friend, as per relating. But I remember on 3 occasions, it will be announced Ojikalo had picked the bills. Because people didn't have money then. People didn't have money. Ojikalo picked most of the bills. These were contributions by members. When you elect governors, of course they make their contributions. Is it your money that because of that you assume leadership, you start dictating how a party will be run? That is very wrong. Until you democratize the political parties, we cannot have democracy at the center.
And also democratize the sources of funding of a political party. Because if it stays in one person's control in terms of funding, it's said that who pays the piper detects the tune. Can
tune.
you really rule out the fact that he will be the one to determine who goes in and what that person does when he goes in as the chairman of a political party?
That is the moment of this. I agree. The governors, they have too much money to decide what happens. I'm not saying they're not critical in any political party. Governors are very, in fact, they are the pillars of the political party. But you see, that doesn't make you to pick and choose, put and remove anytime you want. You are destroying the political party system. There is a constitution. Okay, let me go by the example you wanted to give me. You're having a convention by December. What will make you not wait? Use that your money and remove that man. Or are you thinking that he will win because of his popularity?
All right.
So you want to shorten
his tenure.
That is very wrong, absolutely wrong. Whether it's in a conclave of governors or in a meeting of National Assembly members, it is anti the constitution of the party. Like, you can even persuade him to call emergency convention.
Absolutely.
If he doesn't, there is a provision in the constitution to deal with that. 2/3 majority. Put it on his table. He has no reason not to call the convention. But you choose that in your bedroom, in your conclave, and you decide.
All right.
I think we must speak out so that political parties must get it right.
Okay.
In my own party, for example,
Zenith Labour Party.
Zenith Labour Party, it was deliberately put there. You cannot suspend or remove the national chairman of the party except in a special convention called specifically for that.
Let me hold you here before we get to
called specifically for that.
Before we
if it doesn't, there's a way to make him call it. That is the provision in the constitution. And the reason for that is to have stability in the party. You must believe in party supremacy.
All right.
Party supremacy.
You know, I'm trying to
It is
come
the
in
party
here.
that produced you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come in here because I know that, you know, before Zenith Labour Party, you know, I mean, the trajectory of Labour Party comes to fresh in mind. I mean, between the years, I think 2004 to 2014,
yes,
you were in the Labour Party as the chair.
Yes.
And, you know, it was a party we saw you passionate about and put in a lot of efforts. And all of a sudden, you know, one morning we saw that you had resigned, you know, on national TV. And I remember what your letter read, and I'll read. It said, "I regret to observe that the events in the Labour Party, especially with regard to the handling of the recently concluded nomination of candidates on the platform of the party for the 2015 general elections, are not in consonance with the integrity, transparency, and accountability of which the party had achieved reputation over the years."
Those were my words.
Those were your words. Now there is Zenith Labour Party. Of course, we have seen people move from party to party and bring the dynamics of party integrity, you know, into the politics. But Chief, I mean, going from Labour Party to Zenith Labour Party, you have seen the trajectory of politics and maladministration within political parties. Do you not think that the issue of finance, if not managed properly, because Utibe asked a very germane question about the purse in one pocket and having to spend that money because he has the ability to, where is the role of the NWC? Where's the role of the other members of the party to checkmate such power? Is it only up to the chairman to do that, or with combination of efforts?
No, thank you for the research you made. Those are I think it's a paragraph in my resignation letter in 2014. You see, it's based on principle. I nurtured the party. I did everything in the party. I had no salary. I had no per diem. I had no official car. I ran the party from my private legal office for 10 years because of commitment. And now you pass the party on. All the things you achieved was eroded within 2-3 months. And that is what you have even seen in this country. One step forward, 20 steps backward. I did all that. You cannot find for 10 years in the books of accounts of the then Labour Party seeing where I made a collection of money. You can't find it in the audited accounts with INEC because I never did. Rather, our conference, they bring money, I pay it in. Somebody gave me a bus, I gave it the party. They have sold the party. They have sold the bus. Somebody gave me a bus. Thank you for this job you have done. I gave it to the party. I should have taken it to my village in Ikedru for them to use it to be doing Amimo Umoren. But I gave it to the brand new bus. But they have sold it. I bought a brand new generator and land. I want to sell it now. So these are some of the things that no, I don't want to be associated with this. Coupled with things I cannot say on television concerning the nominations. If you go back to that resignation, you will see where I refer to a security chief.
Absolutely.
Where 75 million that was taken away, they said it was for security chief. I said, let this man not hear this. He will lock all of you and finish this party. I read it there. Is there Google Nwanyanwu's resignation on the Labour Party? You see it there.
So this is
I left. So on the issue you have just asked, you see, money is an issue. The National Working Committee is in charge of the day-to-day running of the party. And you call NEC to brief them from time to time. When it comes to operations of the account, there are 3 signatories. Like in our own case. 2 may sign because of absence of 1. So, you see, money is an issue. But remember too, when you want to damage somebody, just bring money in, he has eaten all your money. By the time he's gone, those that raise that allegation will not raise it again. You will discover that nothing happened. So if somebody helped his fingers with public funds, there is a constitutional way to deal with it. Not to distort the working of a political party. Because you believe that you are the numero uno, you are conclave, you can do and not do. If I were in that position, I will challenge it. I even had a letter late last night that decision was also reached that the members of the National Working Committee of that particular party should not contest. I think that is, with greatest respect, that is arrant nonsense. That is my privilege. As a card-carrying member of a party, you cannot, 1 million of you, cannot stop me from contesting for any position.
But
you can't decide that.
If there was an agreement,
that's
okay, part of the agreement.
That is if I agree.
So if you agree, it doesn't make it undemocratic.
I can even leave before that time. There won't be problem for. There won't be reason for that. I can even leave before that time. There won't be reason for that. But if I don't take it kindly, I will contest. It is my privilege, and that's what I'm talking about. Political party constitution, party supremacy. Everybody pass. Is it merely the man is elected governor, party chairman will go hand in gloves and go and beg. At times you will call the governor, he will not answer. At times you call the president, you will even beg to get appointment to see with the president. If you have produced the president, national chairman of a party that produced you.
But
that is the reality we have. But it shouldn't be so.
Chief Dan, in your case, you left, because you saw the discrepancies and the indiscipline. In this case, there have been several calls by several persons within the political party of several other political parties. I mean, in this case, we know a popular opposition party, the PDP, have been talking about issues surrounding Secondus, the national chair. They reached a consensus to wait and gave him a soft landing for October. But beyond that, we have seen clarion calls where people have said there have been misappropriation of, party funds. There have been hijacking of processes within the party, not just from one person. Now, in a process where there are several voices of discontent, what is the role of the chairman in this position? Because you cannot say the chairman is deaf to the complaints of the people within his party. He also has a duty to be able to answer to these questions and come clear with all the allegations.
You see, I'm not going particularly to a party. I'm discussing generally. That's why when you put these questions to me, I don't want to be saying, what, is he a member of PDP? Why is he talking about us? But when they have problem with Sheriff, I discussed the issue of political parties and enjoyed it. And in fact, there was a time I said, look, if Supreme Court decides otherwise, I will throw away my wig and gown. And Supreme Court did not. In fact, if you go through the judgments and go through my interventions, you can see some of my ideas in that judgment. Because that is the law. I'm a man of system. I'm a man of. I believe in the rule of law. I believe that where there is law, self-help should be avoided. If people are complaining, and you, as national chairman, you know the angle from where those things are coming, and you know there's no truth in it, I will report it to the National Working Committee. Okay. National Working Committee will discuss it. I will also make my opinion known. If it is not real, I will ignore it. If I call NEC, I will put it before the NEC. If it's not real, I will ignore it. NEC will decide. But if you think that, okay, let me go and test whether actually they still need me here, you can call a mid-term convention. Mid-term convention. Give the necessary notice. Push it through the NEC. led, you're not to call it his neck, but you recommend it to the National Working Committee.
But you had the neck as well.
Huh?
You had the neck as well as chairman of NEC.
Of course, the national chairman presides over all the meetings. You can't remove that
Can
from
you not
him.
influence?
So who makes that move for calling for such a meeting?
You see, when
they say NEC, it seems a bit,
Let me tell you. For example, we'll be holding NEC very soon.
Yes,
I'll put it before the.
If the just
committee.
a minute, Chief Dan, let me land. If it's the NEC that is supposed to call this kind of emergency meeting, and the issue to be discussed in that emergency meeting has to do with the national chairman, who is the chairman of NEC.
Yes.
Do you expect him to call such a meeting?
No.
Can he be made to call such a meeting?
You're getting it wrong. It's everybody cannot be foolish at the same time. There are things that are sponsored, and you see it glaringly. For example, you say I have just like during the last nomination, they said I was given the major parties in Anambra who didn't want me to take the best candidate, Dr. Obiora Okonkwo, for that governorship. They threw a story that I had been given $2 million. When I saw it on the net, I said, no, I am looking for $5 million. If I get it, if the man wants a receipt, I will give him. If he wants coverage, I'll bring CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, AIT channels. I will cover it, and there will be no regret. That collapsed the discussion in that place. They say, these people are liars. I said, I'm looking for $5 million, not 2. You can see how somebody sat in his bedroom and thought if you do this, they'll run away. No, we look for the man. We knew he had the character, he had the integrity, he can do it, and we grabbed him.
And the money too.
So such rumors exist in political parties. It is money. You want to chop money, they have chopped our money, they've taken our money. When you discover it's not true, it doesn't bother you. Because you have checked yourself, that's nothing. You push it through. You will get it through. You have to explain it. That's why I said everybody will not be foolish at the same time. Members who love your party will be in a position to know when few columnists are attempting to disrupt what has been established. It is not easy to lead a party because you are dealing with a lot of people. And especially a successful party where you have many interests, where everybody is now talking about 2023. Where would the president come from? Where would the vice president come from? Where would the chairman of the party be? And all that. So everybody is skimming. What you see happening today in all the parties
is expected.
Is that to do with 2023? No more.
Exactly. And you just took it out of my mouth. You've talked about love for party. So where would one draw the line between love for party and love for self and personal interest? Because like they say, politics is about interest. It depends on where your interest lies. Do you deny that these intrigues will not continue towards 2023, regardless of what we have seen as a make-believe patch case of a mediation?
No, it will be more. You see, let me also give an example with the one you're talking about. Let me talk about secondus now. If you remove secondus, put somebody else, do you know what then he'll be the one that will midwife the party to elections. He might change his position. It has happened. There are governors that impose successors. Today they are not in talking terms. I can give you examples. And you know the examples. So remove him, put another person. The man will be his own man. He will change your view. What you think he should do.
Even the man in charge of the PDP was put in there by somebody for a particular interest. And in 2019, that interest wasn't met. And that is said to have what has caused the division. But let me take you to the next one because we are running out of time, Chief Dad, because we have to touch a bit on the APC and APGA as well. Two issues I wanted to raise with you: the party financing and how that influences who controls the party. The fact that after elections, the governors become the supremos. Why does that happen? What do they use to blackmail the leadership of the party, so the national chairman? Is it threat of, if you harass me too much, if you sub me too much, or have other political options, I can move? And governors don't want to be, a party chairman don't want to be in a situation where you have governors all over the place and you have them leaving, which is one of the allegations made against Uche Secondus now, that he has presided over a party where 3 governors have left, a member of the BOT has left, several other high-ranking officials of the party are leaving. Do elected officials also use that threat of, well, I'm not tied to you, I've been elected, I can move? Does that also affect how much control, influence exerts over the national chairman of the party?
You see, that has to also do with the characters you give nomination. When you are giving your nomination, it's not because he's rich, he's this, he's that. Will he be committed to the party? I'll give you an example. When we produced governor in Ondo State, Governor Olusegun Mimiko did not one day interfere in the runnings of the party. But every week, every other week, I'll go to Akure to see things. Chairman, we are going to commission this. We are going to have breaking ceremony of the. Will you be able? You go there, make sure that he did everything in accordance with the manifesto of the party. He never interfered, and we never also interfered in this administration. We didn't say make this one commissioner, make this, make this that. If we had asked for such a opportunity, I think he would have given us. So he understands it till tomorrow. You see, a governor elected into an office has a lot of things around him. And you see a man that is humble. People say when you want to know the true color of a man, give him power and money. You see somebody you play with all the time. You see somebody that every evening he will call you, you people will go out, hang out. He becomes something. He will not pick your call. That happens only in Nigeria. Because we have very bad people in politics. People with dark hearts, who have no conscience, blood doesn't grow. They have no soul. So they forget those things because they're empowered. They want to give impression that that's nothing here. But you'll be one day, something will bust somewhere. Say, hey, is this man doing all this? So a governor, with greatest respect to their office, they have a lot. So unless you are somebody, if you are somebody who can endure hunger, you must keep to the dictates and principles of the party. It doesn't matter. You keep to it. Yes, he has money. He can frustrate. He may not fund the party. He may do a lot of things that may not get you, working in the party. But that should not bother you. Keep working with it. But let members understand that this thing is not coming. You see, the difference between us and the other big parties, you see, most of the people you see around us are comrades. They are used to hunger. What they will achieve with 100 million, if you give my party 10 million naira, they will go do better than that. Because part of the money that they have budgeted enters private pockets.
I see.
So that is the difference. So our people can endure hunger, unlike those that have passed through the other political parties. Since 1999, Nwanyanwu has been in opposition. But most of them that are in government are not looking better than me because I don't expect anything.
You saw that earlier. All right.
Sorry, you talked about enduring hunger.
Yes.
You talked about,
That's why you see this crisis in the parties that lost power. They cannot endure hunger. They should come and ask us, we give them the recipe.
Exactly my point. So what is the mechanism for party funding beyond the governor's post? Because again, that is a major crisis for a lot of political parties, even those who are upcoming. And that's why the political parties are hijacked by people in office, especially the incumbents.
In Nigeria today, that will be very difficult to get members to be paying because of the economic reality, their position. But you get individual accounts who are not even politicians, who help you based on what you are doing. I've gotten that so many times. Then, you may think that you are not this and that. Okay, at least, I'm not a politician, but I like what you are doing. I have gotten that across the country. But members cannot do it. So that's why at times, when people of means get into the party and you screen them, they pass that threshold. Okay, let us have them. Let them go. And we believe that the party will grow one day. The money is still in the hands of governors. In fact, it's during President Muhammad Buhari that the center is not pumping money into the party. Because I can tell you, President Buhari doesn't understand this political party thing. He believes in that power. I dictate it, I direct it. When they call me, okay, is that what you should do? Okay, let's go. So if you tell him put money in APC, I don't think he will listen to you. But those around him, they will find a way to assist the party, particularly the governors. So it will continue.
And that's why the governors are trying to influence who is in charge of the caretaker committee heading into a convention.
You see, that's part of it.
And that's why that takes me to what I wanted to ask you. You saw I'm sure you've gone through the judgment of the Supreme Court and the hint given towards the role or the status of Buni as National Caretaker Committee of the party. I've gone through the PDP constitution. I've also seen the APC constitution. Both provisions are there that you cannot hold two executive positions as a national officer of the party. How far-reaching do you think that what the APC is going through right now? Although they've tried to say, okay, we've settled it, there's no issue, nobody's going to court, you cannot really rule out that nobody will go to court at the end of the day. But how do they manage it moving forward? Do you think they'll be able to sell through this?
I think they have very bright senior advocates in their party. And a student in the law school will tell you that going ahead in that particular direction as regards to the case will be dangerous for the party. I think the party should sit down. You have a vice president, Professor Shubajo, my teacher in the University of Lagos. He's a professor of law and he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. We have other senior advocates in their mix. Let them come together and look at it. And we should stop looking at things we're in power. We can do all this. Okay, nobody may go to court. Would that stop another party or another person to go to court? That is within your fault because they're in power. I think that judgment appear to be direct and is giving an insight. It's like being forewarned of the implications of your action. I think it is in their best interest to study the judgment. I'm not passing judgment. I'm not going to pass that judgment. It is in their best interest to study the judgment and take the path that will not get the party out of 2023.
All right, Chief Nwanyanwu, I think we just have to leave it at that point. Thank you so much for being here with us. National Chairman, Zenith Labour Party, former National Chairman, Labour Party. Thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. And, I was just about to ask him about the role of that political party intrigues in our democracy, but I guess it means that we're talking more and
we'll be back here some other time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the only thing is that if we don't have the democratic political parties, you cannot have democracy in the system.
Absolutely.